Well, my name's Adam Richardson. I teach math. This is my second year at SMC, so I'm a little bit new. Degrees, I got a Bachelor of Science in Applied Math, I got a Master of Science in Pure Math, and I got my PhD in Pure Math as well.
What is your favorite thing about math?
Oh man. I like how enlightening it is. Mathematics is very enlightening. And I think it's fun. It's a difficult thing to do in the beginning, but as long as you have support, it becomes really, really fun to do. Yeah, I recommend everybody needs to learn as much math as they can. We can't require that, which I totally get, but it's never bad to learn more math. Yeah.
Alrighty, so next category is college tips. What are office hours, and why should a student attend office hours?
Office hours are times when professors are sitting around in their office waiting for students to show up. And if nobody shows up, we just do other work. But yeah, you should definitely go to office hours. Go to office hours just to get to know your professors, your instructors, get clarity on more complicated ideas. Most of the time your professors will be happy to sit there and just talk and help you figure things out, take as much time as you need. So definitely go to them. They are really just, the professor is waiting for you all to show up, so don't take it as you shouldn't show up. Like, I know some professors like to call them student hours now instead, but they're open times for students, so come find us.
Okay. To be comfortable in math, students should?
So to be comfortable in math, students should emphasize conceptual understanding. Yeah, a lot of times math gets a bad rap because you'll be taught it in a way that's very procedural and very just rote memorization of processes. That's not going to help you for too long. Definitely emphasize conceptual understanding and making sense of the ideas and intuition. You want to have an intuition for what's going on. A really good example I have is any mathematical formula that you've ever seen, you should be able to pinpoint, or I should say, you should be able to look at every piece of it and explain why that piece makes sense in a bigger picture, more intuitively. Yeah.
Awesome. Number 3, if you had to give advice to yourself when you first started in this career and/or a student, or as a student, what would you say?
Let me think about this one. I don't want to repeat myself. I would say, well, it is kind of a repeat, but I would say emphasize conceptual understanding. I was really, really bad at math. I really hated math all the way up through high school. I really hated math. I had no interest in becoming a mathematician, no interest in learning math whatsoever. But I did like science, and so I kind of wanted to go into STEM, and you got to take math if you want to go into STEM. So I ended up taking intermediate algebra and college algebra, and then I took pre-calculus. And pre-calculus was the first time I had an instructor tell me that math was supposed to make sense. And he emphasized conceptual understanding, and he was like, well, what does this represent? What does this mean? And that's what I wish I had learned earlier on. Just that math is designed to make sense. Its whole purpose is to make sense to anybody and everyone. So make sense of things. Don't worry about rote procedures, make sense of things.
That's great advice. How do students get a letter of recommendation?
Oh, that's a tough one. For one, you'll have to get to know your professor a little bit. So that's my first recommendation. If you do want a letter, you're going to have to get to know your professor a bit. Come to office hours. You should also engage in class meaningfully, engage with people meaningfully, your professor and your peers. Try to do well in the class. And just build a rapport. Build a rapport with somebody, and they'll be happy to write you a letter.
Alrighty, and we know this can happen often. So how can STEM students recover from burnout?
Oh my gosh. You have to take breaks. You have to take breaks. STEM students, you have to take breaks. I know a lot of people feel like there's a rush. They're trying to get through college as fast as they can, move on to the next thing. But when break time comes, you should take the break. Semesters are like marathons. You gotta keep going and you gotta keep going. You have to pace yourself. But when something like spring break comes around, you really should just take a break. Put down school for about 5 days. I know that people have to study a little bit over break too, but take a break for real. Yeah, I have one student who just like ground himself down over the winter session. I was like, you should take a break, take a break. He decided to take a math class over winter, and then when he was in my class in the spring, he was just struggling the first 8 weeks until he finally took a break. And then he recovered. Now he's doing great. So, yeah, take a break.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Important.
So you don't assign the test right after spring break? You're not-
Sometimes I do, but you can still take a break. So like this spring break we had, I think, about 10 days off. It was like 9 or 10 days. So take 5 of those days off and then spend the other 4 studying.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that.
Sometimes the break helps. It helps you
Oh, yeah.
retain some of it.
Recharge.
Yeah, reset.
For sure.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we're going to the next category just for fun. We want to get to know you. So what is one of your hobbies and or an activity you like to do during your free time?
Well, I like to work out, and I really like trampoline parks, like Get Air. Those are really fun. But I have 2 kids, so most of my free time is spent hanging out with them and doing stuff with them. My youngest is really into Spidey and His Amazing Friends right now, so we watch that a lot, and we'll just pretend to be Ghost Spider and Spidey. My oldest is really into Roblox, so sometimes I'll play Roblox with her. Let's see, what else? Movies. I used to work in film, so I like movies and TV, video games.
You make them do a lot of math.
What?
Do you make them do a lot of math?
No.
You're like, no, I wouldn't do that as a
Today we're
parent.
going to do math for fun.
No, I just try to remind. Well, my youngest is in TK, so they haven't really started like math, but they started counting.
Oh, okay.
But my oldest, she did like math. Now she doesn't like math. I just try to remind her that it's okay to it's okay to oscillate.
You want it to
Your
be
feelings can
natural,
change.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
No pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's no pressure. She's young. There's time.
She'll like it again eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope.
If you could have any superpower based on the principles of mathematics, what would it be and why?
Teleportation. Always teleportation. My superpower that I wish I had was the ability to teleport anywhere instantly. Definitely.
Yeah.
That would be my superpower.
Especially beats a lot of traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Forget something at home, just teleport back real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Alrighty. And then is Euler pronounced as Euler or Euler?
Euler. It's pronounced Euler.
Euler.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Euler.
This is a one-word responses, so we're just looking for one word. And it's 3 of them, so we'll go through them. Okay, so describe community college in one word.
Vibrant.
Describe STEM students in one word.
Potential.
And describe the STEM program in one word.
Evolving. And choose industry or academia. I actually was in industry before, so I didn't just go straight into academia, and I didn't even just go straight into college. I had graduated high school, and then I went to work in the film industry. And then I kind of fell out of enchantment with the industry and went to City College. So one thing I would like to say is there are pros and cons to both academia and industry, and if you can, you should try both and see what you like. But honestly, like, I was an artist, so my background is in art and film, and now I'm a mathematician. So how does that happen? Well, once you discover what math is really about, it becomes a lot more clear.
Awesome, that was great. Super helpful.
Yes.
Especially
Yeah.
for students who maybe take a gap year or a few years.
Oh, yeah,
Out
yeah.
of get
You know,
that
college.
experience.
I took a
Yeah.
gap year. Yeah, for real. It was, I'll elaborate a little bit. So, once I graduated high school, I started at Pasadena City College, and I dropped out in a week. And I was like, I wanted to work on film, and I had already been making films for years, like in high school and a little bit in middle school. I wanted to like make movies, right? But they made me start in beginning film production, and I just couldn't abide by that. So I got a job as a PA on a film set, and then it just spun from there. And I worked in Hollywood for like 2 or 3 years. Then went back to school, and yeah, don't be afraid to take a gap year. You really do have to find yourself. There's a lot more than just school. Like, go out there, try working, just see how it is, and then decide if you want to go back to school. Yeah.
It's also a good, would you say that it's good advice to students who are considering like I guess like coming back to school after like perhaps a longer period of work? Because especially at community college, I meet a lot of people who are like way older than me who decide they want a career switch, and you know, they just come back to college, and I find that really cool, I guess.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, I've had multiple careers. I mean, I was in film. I went back to City College, and then I transferred to San Francisco State, and then I actually had to drop out because my financial aid fell out. So I had to try to work full-time and go to school full-time, and I just honestly couldn't handle it. So after a semester of trying that, I dropped out. It just worked. And then I went back to finish my bachelor's degree, but by then I had learned a little bit more about myself, so I was able to balance school and work a little better. I couldn't do full-time, but I was able to do like 3/4 time each. But then once I got my bachelor's degree, I again was like, I didn't want to go to school anymore, I didn't want to go to grad school, and I just worked in the plastics industry. So I got a job in plastics, and I was making a bunch of money. I was like, you know, operations manager of this plastics company, but then I found that I still missed academia, and I missed working with students, and I missed learning new math. So even though I was making money and I had like a decent career, I decided that I still wanted to like learn more. And then that was a big change for me, because when I got to grad school, I was a way better graduate student than I was an undergraduate student. Maybe that's another thing I'll add. So don't be too hard on yourself about your grades. I graduated with a very low GPA from my bachelor's, but I still got into a grad program, and I graduated with a 4.0 from my grad program. That was when I realized what I really needed to be doing, and like what I really should be doing and focusing on. So yeah, don't be afraid to take gap years. Don't beat yourself up over, you know, B's and C's. Yeah.
That's really great advice.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be so important for students to hear, because they do have to repeat, you know, certain classes at times and stress so much about their GPAs.
So did I. Yeah, even math classes, like I would try one semester, I just could not do it, take it the next semester, get a different instructor, a different book, and it was like, oh, this makes sense. Like, I can do this. And I was worried about my GPA when I went to apply to grad school, and I actually met with the graduate advisors, and I was like, listen, my GPA is low. Will you still admit me to the program? And the one that I got into, he was like, yeah, I would. The only thing he requested was that I take these 2 undergraduate courses first, which was like Advanced Calculus 2 and Intermediate Abstract Algebra. And I needed it, so I took those 2 classes my first semester, and I needed them. And then I took graduate courses after that. So yeah, if you have a low GPA, it doesn't mean you're not going to get into grad school. It doesn't mean you haven't failed. Don't give up. Don't give up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such great for students to hear that, for sure. I have a question for you, actually. Oh,
Sure.
Sorry, did it stop recording?
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, like, your thoughts on
Is it run out of battery, or
like a student choosing like a math major, like why they should just consider a math major, you know, because I feel like it's becoming more popular now, because I've noticed so many students were wanting computer science, but now that's becoming so competitive, so then they're going for a major in math to maybe have a more like diverse kind of option when it comes to different positions and such. And any thoughts on, is it working now?
Yeah, no, I have a lot of thoughts on that. So let's see, how would I start? Well, maybe with what my advisor told me. For one, don't get a degree in math because you want to go into academia. Academia is actually very impacted right now. It's really, really hard to get a stable tenure track job. Really, really hard to do. But what my advisor told me was, math degrees are great because you learn all of the foundation and all of the background that all these other fields are going to be using. So you almost have like a higher viewpoint of these things. And he always said that the thing that's great about a math degree is you can parlay it into all these different industries. So that's what I would say. Yeah, you can parlay a math degree into a lot. One of the people that graduated with me, his bachelor's was in accounting, and he hated accounting. And he got his master's in math, but he hated teaching. And then right after he got his master's, he went to basically like a coding boot camp for like a few months, like 3 months. And then he got hired at Red Hat right after that. and they relocated him, moved him, paid him really well, and then he just spun up from that. Yeah, so you can spin a math degree into a lot than just math. And also the reality is, the farther along you go in research in the sciences, a lot of it just comes back down to math. There's a meme out there about physicists, because physicists like tend to go the physics route because they want to avoid the math, but then when they get into the research phase, they start to like turn back into the math, because really it ends up being math.
All circles back to math.
All circles back.
It's,
Yeah.
it's true. It's the same
does.
with computer science, because a lot of people will actually reignite like an interest in math, or that like they used to have or they never had but to begin with, once they realize how useful it is and how, like, with regard to their field, right?
Yeah, exactly. I have a student that is going for computer science now, but he's thinking about switching to math.
There's a saying that you don't need math for programming, but if you do know math or programming, you're a great programmer.
Yes, yeah, that's true, because it's not, I won't say easy, but it's not so difficult to learn a programming language. What's difficult is to know all of the abstract underlying structures that you want to actually program.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another piece of advice I will give. So if any of you are STEM students, you must learn a programming language. You must. Even if your degree says you don't have to, trust me, just learn a programming language. You will have to.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
At least Python or JavaScript.
Right.
Yeah, would you say Python, right? Or
Right, because I think that a lot of people could actually, even like non-STEM majors, could benefit from knowing a little bit of Python, because you could use it to do a lot. Because it's
Yeah.
like, when you, syntactically it's similar to English, right?
yes, okay, this is why I like Python, because Python is such a gentle language. It's really easy to do. It's really easy to code with. I mean, I had to learn a lot of different ones when I was getting my bachelor's, but Python is just so nice, yeah. There you go, so that's my recommendation, Python. Try Python, C++.
Endorsed.
There you go.
Awesome. That's great.
Thank you so much.